What's something you're proud of but can't tell anybody you know? When me and my basketball coach met some scouts, he introduced me as his son. I almost broke down on the spot. In 2009 I walked in a commencement ceremony for my bachelor's degree, but later found out I didn't pass my last 2 classes, so I didn't receive my degree. I never told anyone, and life happened, so I put it off. I started going back to school and had to take a few extra classes, but I finally finished my last classes and filled out my graduation application today. My second semester of senior year of high school, only one class I was taking I actually needed in order to graduate. Unfortunately, I hated the class, and for me, that means I didn't do any of the work. By the time the final exam came around, I had a 39% in the class. I needed something like a 160% on the final to pass, which is obviously impossible. So I resigned myself to the idea of summer school, and put very little effort into that final, instead choosing to focus on studying for other finals. After I finished that exam, the teacher gave me the opportunity to make up pretty much all of the homework that I didn't do over the entire semester. After she entered all those assignments into the gradebook, I only needed a 59% on the final in order to pass the class. Considering I got something like a 55% on the midterm, that I actually kind of cared about, a few months earlier, that was not at all a guarantee. At the time of the graduation ceremony, I still didn't know if I'd pass the class. My high school allows people who didn't graduate to still walk across the stage and pick up the cover for their diploma, but then after the ceremony we go pick up the actual diploma, assuming you passed. I walked the stage having no idea that I passed that class. It wasn't until I went to the area to pick up the diploma that I would find out. I told the woman my name, she looked me up in a binder, handed me my diploma, and said congratulations. She had no idea that she was breaking the news to me that I would, in fact, graduate on time. I mentioned I needed a 59% on the final in order to pass the class. When I got home after the ceremony, I went online to check my grades. On the final, I got a 61%. My mom died 13 years ago and I became a teacher about 10 years ago. I work in a district with a lot of families in need. I use the money that I would have used to buy her a gift and buy something for a child in need. Normally it is a winter coat or hats and gloves for Christmas, and in the summer I buy gift cards or send someone to camp. None of my co-workers or family members know I do this. That despite my childhood family being abusive, cold, hateful and spiteful toward me, I'm proud of the fact that I'm super loving and nobody will ever change this. I don't want to drag this into my adult life. My kids will never know my sadness. They are amazing and they will never carry what I carry. They will only carry joyful memories. This makes me more proud than anything. 20 years ago Dan Savage responded to a letter suggesting someone named the act of a woman fucking a man with a strap on. He started a reader's vote which eventually came up with the term pegging. I wrote that original letter. Proudest thing in my life, helping come up with a new word in the English language, and helping name my favorite sex act, and other than a select few I can't tell anyone. There was a guy with Down syndrome ahead of me in line at a mom-and-pop sub-sandwich restaurant, trying to pay for his, already prepared, meal with a Subway gift card. The people running the store didn't speak much English and couldn't get through to the guy that he wasn't in a Subway. I just paid for his meal, much to the relief of the people behind the counter. About 10 years ago I was at a gas station getting gas, what a surprise. I was inside going to pay in cash with a $20 when the lady in front of me who had a small coffee and $5 in gas was trying to pay with her card. It kept getting declined and she looked so rattled. Not to sound rude, but by what she drove and how she looked, you could tell she didn't have a lot of money. So I just told the cashier that I got her and she was so thankful. I never told anyone because it would feel like it did it to brag, but I was just happy to help someone who needed it. I've been losing weight, but it's hard to tell people. My dad has been a jerk about my weight ever since I was a kid. I wasn't even overweight, nor was I even close. My body type makes me muscular instead of thin like my other female relatives, but I was fine. Then cancer hit, and I gained about 70 pounds of kilo weight. I only have 25 pounds to go before I get back to my original weight of 168. Anyway, I'm proud of myself, and I've been trying really hard. I even gave up sugar. But I can't really talk to anyone about it, especially in my family. Everyone in my house is super fit, and they make a competition about everything. So my little victories wouldn't mean jack to them. I recently got a promotion at work that makes me an exec sous chef, and I get a raise that works out to be about a $3 per hour increase. I'm a very lucky person that gets to stay employed for now, and I've been blessed with so many amazing opportunities at my new spot. This all came after me and my old lady split up. I moved across the country so we didn't have to do the whole long distance relationship thing, but it's all good. I wanted to move, and now I have the job of my dreams, an exponential amount of possibilities, and I live in a temperate rainforest compared to a high alpine desert. I know this will get buried, but I hope we can all get through this weird period of anticipation on our feet. I'm 24, about to turn 25, and just paid off my student loans. I worked super hard and lived cheap in school to pay for a lot of things out of pocket, and have done the same since graduation in order to pay down the loans I did have to take out as fast as possible. I told some close friends and got a mix of responses ranging from just congrats to must be nice and brag about it. I don't mean to brag or anything, I was just happy and felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders, like I can finally start living life more fully. I understand it could be hard to hear a friend is debt free while you still have loans to pay off. I guess I just hope they'd be happy for me since I would be happy and excited for them in the same situation. I investigated and caught a long-term employee stealing $8,000 worth of stock from my store in my first 3 months in my position. I'd never been taught how to investigate this kind of thing. It almost never happens. And was told I wasn't allowed to involve anyone, including anyone who could help me, to preserve the employee's privacy in case we were wrong. We weren't wrong, and I think I did a bloody good job. I've overcome bullying without anyone's help. I was bullied at school from 10 to 16 years old. I told the teacher about it and obviously they were fucking useless, and instead of trying to help they would tell me to ignore, and even had the nerve to say that one day would end. It did. BC eventually I moved out to high school, but that doesn't mean that the emotional damage disappeared too. I was bullied the whole time even while having classes, and the teachers didn't give a f. Some of them actually seemed to like seeing me being bullied, but anyways, the bullying only stopped once I moved to high school, and even though I was very emotionally and mentally damaged, I made myself see this change of environment as a new chapter of my life where I could start from the beginning. I didn't want to go there my chin down. I told myself that I am worthy of love and I can't let my past ruin this new opportunity to make friends. Obviously I still have a lot of traumas BC of the bullying, but I couldn't show weakness BC. It affects how people perceive me and it makes it more difficult to make friends. I have severe depression due to the bullying and other issues in my life, but I can at least say that I was strong enough to go through high school and university without letting my past ruin my ability to show my qualities and making friends. I was closeted and in denial for most of my life, forced myself to like guys, and as a result I have a lot of trouble feeling anything for people romantically. But pretty recently I fell for this girl. This is the first time I can really pinpoint completely natural development of romantic feelings for someone, especially another woman. I was starting to worry I'd never feel something long, but I'm really happy. I've come a long way. Unfortunately I can't gush about her because I'm stuck at home with my parents who I'm not out to. I was identified with a high IQ as a child and labeled gifted. I read books written by therapists and psychologists who work with gifted individuals to help me understand certain personality and social emotional characteristics that come with being gifted. I am proud of my intelligence, that I learn things quickly and that I have been able to master any intellectual material I've come across. I hold 2 bachelor degrees, a master's degree and a doctorate at age 28. But I'm horribly lonely. I was teased sometimes in grade school, heck even when I was taking graduate level coursework, that I was a know-it-all. I try to help others all the time if they're struggling with learning something, but others seem to be put off by my enthusiasm for learning. So I hide my intelligence now. I barely even talk about my identity as a gifted individual with my husband and my therapist to avoid sounding elitist. I desperately wish to find someone to talk with about my fascination with black holes, my desire to learn at least 5 languages, how I want to learn how to play both the piano and the ukulele, or how I wish to go back to college to take courses I didn't have the time for. I also started a poetry blog that has been getting quite a lot of hits recently. So, for now, I'll keep to myself and hope one day to find someone who doesn't make me feel like my problems don't matter because, as they say, you're so smart, you can figure it out on your own. So what do you have to worry about? I gave a homeless person my only beanie in the middle of winter. His had a huge hole in it. It was a good beanie. I could have bought another of course, but this was a special beanie that I had spent months looking for because it was a very specific shape of beanie. It was like Russian gangster beanie, no stupid fluffy pom-poms on the top. A true beanie. Non fair. Anyway, it wasn't a big deal, but it felt good helping someone. But there isn't really any way of bringing it up without sounding like a douchebag. I'm a firm believer of nice people do things without need for recognition and don't go bragging about it. They do it for the other person, not themselves. So yeah, I guess there's that.